All right, so boom. So my goofy self decides to go to Chicago for a class reunion, right? Going there, it was weekend, whatever, drive up there, I'm going to see my people I haven't seen in a long time. Happened to be raining like crazy that day, and as I'm driving, I can't see exactly. As I pull into the city, I'm getting off the E-way, getting into town, can't exactly see where I'm going, and just as I'm going through a light, I realized I'm in the turning lane. I'm like, oh crap, I don't want to turn, so I pulled to the right, and I ended up cutting off the car who was in the right lane. That car just happened to be a police car. They pulled me over immediately. All right, license, registration, all that stuff. I'm thinking, okay, fine, I'm straight, whatever. Give them all my information, and they're like, wait, you got a warrant? And I'm like, I have a warrant? Warrant for what? So so they're like, hey, maybe it's no big deal. Maybe it's something, something small. Because I'm thinking, like, I haven't lived here in over 15 years. Why the hell would I have a warrant in Illinois? You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to figure this part out. They pulled me to the side, end up having to go to jail that night. The next day, I am transferred to the county jail where all the criminals are, and I ended up spending an entire weekend in jail in Chicago. Thankfully, my wife now, my fiance then, was able to find more information about me because, so basically when it got to a point when I wasn't able to call her to let her know, hey, I made it, she got worried. So I called my boys like, hey, where is he? And none of them could figure out where I was. And she was able to find out where I was from Missouri quicker than my boys were, who were right there in the city. Crazy. Anyway, so I get out, had to bond out, do all that good stuff on that Sunday, finally bring myself home. So I finally get out of there and I go back to Missouri, and I'm so glad I'm back, right? Come back, but I'm like, oh crap, I gotta go back to Illinois for court the next month. So go back to Illinois the next month, go there for court, show them that I have a driver's license, and they can see that it's on the record. They realize, oh snap, somebody just didn't put that he has a license, and his and whatever this debt was that was owed for when I drove with a suspended license way back when 15 years ago, they didn't click into the computer that I was satisfied. So because of that error, I for 15 years had a warrant for my arrest in the state of Illinois. Anyway, so then I'm waiting for my bond money. It's all said and done. I come back to Missouri. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm done. I'm straight. I'm waiting to get my bond money back. I never get my bond money. I reach out to Dorothy Brown's office. So I'm like, because this is where Dorothy Brown comes in, right? So I reach out to Dorothy Brown's office, who was the city clerk at the time. And I'm like, hey, where is my damn money? And they say, well, we already sent it to your address. And I'm like, what address did you send it to? And they say, we sent it to the Chicago address we have on file. And I'm thinking, well, that's kind of strange and weird considering I haven't lived at that address in over 15 years. And all the correspondence that you've been sending to me up to this point in regard to this particular court case has been sent to my Missouri address. So why now would you choose to send that money to my old address, right? So go through that whole thing. Then these assholes say to me, well, can you provide a signature sample so we can see if the return check that we sent out and the signature on it matches the one that you provide? And I'm like, yeah, sure. Here's my signature. Do you know that these N-words were sitting there trying to say that I already signed for this check? I'm like, how do you think I signed for a check at an address that I don't live and haven't for 15 years? Do you think I just sat out inside in front of the house for days waiting for this letter to come, waiting to commit mail fraud? That's what you think? So on top of the 15-year warrant that was already against me, I'm willing to risk federal prison now, or federal penalty of some sort, whatever, by stealing mail? That's what you think? So I decided to go on a Twitter rampage. Just rampage. And I am tagging every single person I can think of that's related to Dorothy Brown and Dorothy Brown's office, because it's Dorothy Brown's office that's responsible for this money that ain't come back to me. You dig? So I go on a rampage, Twitter rampage, just you N-words ain't shit. How dare you? Where's my money? My money, my money, my money, my money. Law firm, law firm, law firm. What about this? Hey, what do you think about this? Just hitting up any and everybody I could think of. 2 weeks later, out the blue, 2 weeks later, I get my check in the mail. No apology, no letter, nothing. All I get though, just the check. Isn't that weird? But that's my story of dealing with Dorothy Brown and her corrupt ass office. Fuck y'all, and I'm glad that now you're under investigation again.